morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin. And I am Kevin, and this is my coffee, my new coffee cup. Actually, I got a confession to make. Already 2023, we're 3 days in, and I'm already confessing. This is my wife's coffee cup. Mine says Merry Christmas, but Christmas is over, so I went with a great theme, which is peace. And at this time, I want to wish you all peace for the new year. Peace, what could be better? We all need a little peace in our minds, in our hearts, in our lives. So I wish it to you all. And I wish you all a good cup of coffee, cup of tea, cup of whatever you have. There's actually a friend of mine last week, the week before. He said, Kevin, I was just listening to an Australian story, and they used the word cuppa. And I guess he hadn't heard cuppa since before me. He says, is that where it comes from, Australia? Well, from what I could tell, and where I got it from was the UK. I got it from my trips to the UK many, many years ago. I remember people talking about, it's not cuppa as in cup of, it's cuppa as in the noun, as in, okay, want a cuppa. And a cuppa would be a cup of coffee. A cuppa could be a cup of tea. Another interesting thing is most of the people I worked with out there, and again, many years ago, surprisingly drank more coffee than they drank tea. Our stereotype of the Brits is they're teetotalers. They're teetotalers. And, you know, got the pinky out and sipping tea. No. Most of the people out there were coffee drinkers. So it was, you learn something all the time if you're paying attention. If you're paying attention, you learn something new all the time, and if you appreciate the learning, you appreciate the fact that, hey, I realized I didn't know that. Now I know something. It may be trivial. It may be something that, doesn't matter. But I learned this many, many years ago, and I get to tell you that today. So I learned something that, many years ago that I get to tell you today. That you're probably saying, who cares, Kevin? Who cares whether they drink coffee or tea? Well, I care if I want a cup of coffee and I'm visiting the UK. I know that they'll be more available than I thought. Yum. That coffee is good. It's 2023, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. We made it. About 2 or 3 years ago, a lot of us were thinking, oh my God, are we ever going to make it through this crisis? The world has gone upside down. And we did. We made it through, or at least I can't say for certain we made it through the pandemic, because we still see news of the pandemic and all these new variations of COVID and everything. It's with us. It hasn't gone away. And it's a virus that can spread or has spread over the world. But maybe at least it's with us in a much smaller way than it was back in 2020 and 2021. We can only pray that that's how it's going to be from now on. I always thought from the beginning, well, we've got another virus like the flu that we're going to have to worry about forever. And we're going to have vaccines and updated vaccines every year. Now, that's probably what it's going to be. That's just our lives. When the flu virus started getting big, and every year, and they started having different vaccines every year, people back then had to just adjust. They had to accept it. When we started having vaccines for the things that had been basically eliminated for the most part, like polio and things like that, it just become a norm. And we had to accept, yes, we have polio, measles, and all that other stuff. And the world has changed, and we have something new. And it's going to be around for a while, for probably ever, until we can completely eradicate that. But we haven't been able to completely eradicate the flu. We haven't been able to completely eradicate the cold, the common cold. Matter of fact, no one's been able to find a cure for the common cold. So we'll be with this stuff for a while. But it's 2023. Let's talk about something more exciting. Like, what are you going to do this year? During the year last year, many times over the past few years, and by the way, in another 2 or 3 weeks, I believe we're hitting the 3rd year anniversary of Coffee with Kevin. Yes, I have been doing Coffee with Kevin since before the pandemic. I remember specifically, I had done a lot of training on social media, and one of the things they said is you have to do it consistently. So I said, when I do my live stream, I want to do it consistently. I want to do it every week. I want to continue to do it, and it just kept rolling. I think we might have only missed maybe 2 or 3 weeks over the 3 years. It's amazing, and I'm really thrilled about that. I'm really thrilled. I may not have too much live interaction here, but I run into so many people say, "Oh, I saw you on LinkedIn. I saw you on Facebook." And I don't even know who they are, but they caught me. So for those of you listening to this after the fact, I thank you. I thank you for being there. Comment, send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you're thinking about Coffee with Kevin. I'd like to hear about what your favorite coffee is. That's cool. I can always talk coffee. Yes, indeed. So 2023, what's in it for you? I had said many times that you don't need an excuse to start to think about your goals, to start to think about what you want to accomplish, what you want to achieve, and what you want to become. But we do have an excuse. We have 2023. And forget resolutions. Throw the word resolution out the window, because it's become synonymous with something you quit on, because so many people have set their resolutions, and quickly, sometimes even before the month of January is over, it's like it's done. Sometimes even before the first week of January is over, it's done. Let's just think of it as your personal goals or your business goals or whatever it is. What goals are they? Have you set them down? Have you written them down? Even more important, people don't realize this. This has been said since I was a kid, since I first learned about goal setting. When I was growing up, I learned about goal setting because my mom was in business for herself, and she had to learn all this. So I was listening to the same things, reading the same things she was. And so many, many, many years, everyone said, you set your goals and you write them down. Write them down. The magic of writing them down. There is magic. You engage your mind and your body to do something, to actually put your goals on paper. When you write them down, it is magic, because you can write them down and you can put the paper away, and then 6, 8, 10 months later, you look and say, "Oh, look at this," as opposed to you just let it simmer there for a little while, and then you lose it. So write them down. And I'm not saying write them down and put the paper away. That is magic. It can help. But if you write them down and you have them in front of you, I have file cards, index cards, and you're looking at them every day. You write them down, you're looking at them every day. You will empower yourself. You'll empower yourself to do that. But I will tell you how important writing them down is. I had been traveling in my work, in my full-time job for a while. Not all the time, but I would travel a good 10 to 20 weeks a year. And then I left and I started a consulting business, and I was doing training and professional services, and I started traveling again. I started traveling more. And this went on for a couple of years, and it was really difficult with the family. Yeah, we were making great money, but the traveling was really, really difficult. And I hired people, I started having people work, and I was in the business working. And I wrote a goal. I said, you know what? In 6 months, by June, I think it was, I want to be off the road. I don't want to travel hardly at all anymore. I wrote it down and I put it away. And I didn't see it. And that year, in June, I actually got to the point where I took myself off the schedule and I just worked on managing the business instead of in the business. And I wasn't consciously thinking about, I need to do this by June. It just happened. I looked at my goals when I was forming them for the next year. And lo and behold, that month that I had chosen is the month I got off the road. It's magic. Do it that way. And you will find that you can do almost anything. So commit your goals. Figure out your goals. By the way, figure out your goals. Make sure they're good for you and the people around you. Okay, when I was working all those hours and traveling all that, that wasn't my goal to travel all that. But my goal was to build a business. And you have to make a sacrifice. And I built a business. And it wasn't very ecological for the people around me. But I did finally get out of that. So make sure your goal is good for you and the people around you. Make sure it's time that you have an idea. Like in the June, I said. So you have an idea when you want to do it, because your brain will say, okay, you want to get this done. And maybe we will eventually. When that happens, you never gave me an idea. Your brain's saying that to you. And you know what? You don't put a date. You don't put a time frame on it. And then your brain say, yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow is always exists. Tomorrow always exists. By the way, when you're starting your goal, like when you're starting, okay, I'm going to start a new diet. I hate the word diet because diet always means for most of us, it means a temporary way of which we're going to eat. And when you actually change your diet, you should think about changing it on a more permanent basis. But that's a besides. But if you're going to say, I'm going to start something tomorrow, I'm going to start eating right tomorrow, I'm going to start exercising tomorrow, I'm going to start journaling tomorrow, I'm going to start my goals tomorrow. Tomorrow always exists. It's a cool thing. We always have a tomorrow. It's always out there the next day. What's not always out there is this moment. I'm going to start whatever it is this moment. It's definitive. So if you've got your, good morning, Larry. Good morning. If you've got your goals set and ready, don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till this weekend. Don't wait till next week. Now, whatever it is, whatever action items you have towards those goals, start them now. Yes. You're going to fall back on some old habits more than likely. But it's okay. That term, get back on the saddle and ride again, is there because as humans, we find ourselves always falling. And the important thing is not that we fail, it's that we can get back on track. We can get back on the saddle. We can get back in there. I'm human. It happens to me all the time. And I have to persevere. I have to get back on the track. The track I just fell off of, that's a hard thing to do, right? You commit, you want to do something, and all of a sudden you get off track. It's a track you committed to. It's a track you created. And it's embarrassing even to yourself without even telling anybody. It's embarrassing to yourself. And you don't want to get back on track, but you should. You must. You need to. You want to. Yes, back on track. You're going to fall off track, and it's okay. And if you don't fall off track, it's really cool that you could do that. Anyway, this has been Coffee with Kevin. And I wish you to have your goals, have them timed, have them written down, and I wish you to stay on track as much as you can. This has been Coffee with Kevin. Some exciting news next week. Next week, my business partner Lisa and I are forming or officially launching the new business Center for Next Level Performance. Next level performance. Don't we all want to get to that next level? No matter where we are, there's always a next level. Like there's always tomorrow, by the way. There's always something to shoot for. There's always something that we can attain more than we are. Now, sometimes we get content. If you're retired and you're happy, there is no next level. Maybe there's a next level of happiness. But for most of us, there's that next level in our health, next level in our relationships, next level in our career and business. So Center for Next Level Performance. If you're interested in learning what that's all about, reach out to me on LinkedIn or Facebook. Until next week, make it a great day. Make it a great week. It's in your power. You have that ability. Take care, all.